guys, today we are going to make a clay dragon. So you need to have your materials with you. You should have a wet paper towel and your clay. We'll keep that covered, keep our clay moist. You'll have your slip, you'll have your tools, and you'll have your canvas. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of our clay and we're going to make the base for our clay. So remember, when you are working with clay, you want to work on the canvas, but you want to do some rolling on the table. So we're going to make the base for our dragon, and so we start with a circle, and I can use my hand as a hammer, and I'm just going to pound out a base. It doesn't have to be perfectly round. It could just be the ground that the dragon is standing on, and so it doesn't have to be smooth. But it's something like this for your base. You want to write your name on the back of it. So I'm going to write Hoover. This tool works really well. I call this the lollipop stick tool, and so that works really well. So I'm going to write my name on there. Hoover. All right. Don't just put your initials. I have lots of students, and if you want to get your dragon back, make sure you write your name. Okay, so we're going to take, the next thing, we're going to take some clay about this amount here. I'm going to get a little more. And the rest of this I will put under my wet paper towel. This is going to be the body of our dragon. So we're going to roll a little bit on the table. All right, so I'm rolling it. You see it's kind of wobbling, so I'm going to kind of flat. If it gets flat, then I smush the part that's flat so it stays round. And I'm going to make my dragon body a little more pointy at one end. All right. All right, it doesn't have to be perfect. So there's my dragon, and then I'm going to smack him down a little bit at the other end. So here's my dragon body. You can see what it looks like, and then I'm just going to tilt the head. So this makes, I tilt the top, that makes my head. Now when I'm putting two pieces of clay together, we have two things we need to do. We need to score and we need to add water or slip. So I'm going to put my dragon right about here on my clay. So I need to score the edge. Scoring just means to scratch up the surface. And again, this lollipop tool works really well. So I'm going to scratch up the surface here, and then wherever I'm going to put my dragon, I'm going to scratch that up as well. Then I'm going to need some water. Now down in the base of this is this slimy stuff. Oh, it's so great for gluing things together. So I'll put a little bit of this slimy slip, and I twist and press this onto my base, and there's my dragon body. All right, with his head. Now I'm going to add my tail. So I need some more clay. So I'm going to pull off, oh, I don't know, about that much. And the rest goes under my wet paper towel. And again, I'm going to roll on the table, or in my hands. I could do that too. And my tail, however long I want it to be. If you roll with your whole hand rather than just your palm, you'll have less of an opportunity of making it wobbly. Now this is a pretty long tail. I don't think I want my tail to be that long, so I'm going to cut off some tail. There we go. All right, so on my dragon, I'm going to attach it here and wrap it around a little bit. So here he is at the back. I actually think this is a little smaller than what I want, so I'm going to redo. You can do that. Okay, I think I want it to be a little bit more like this, but you can make a little skinny tail too. So now I'm going to attach it. So what do I need to do? I need to score it and add water. So it's going to attach here. I'm going to score the end, score my dragon, and I'm going to score where the tail's going to go on the base. So as you can see, I'm scoring the base of where the tail's going to go, and I'm scoring the tail as well. Then I add my water, my slip, and water here, and better put some on the end, and smush it down. Okay, so I'm smushing it on there, and I can blend these two together, smooth these down. Now if you want to, you can use these tools. There's lots of different tools. This one is a good blending tool for smoothing, and I can smooth this You can just use your fingers or you can use this tool. It's kind of fun to use a tool. All right, so I'm going to blend this guy, make him nice and smooth. All right. He doesn't have to be perfectly smooth because he is a dragon and I might be making some scales on him. Okay, so I've got my little dragon guy. He is looking good, and now I'm going to give him some scales along the ridge of his back. So I'm going to take my 2 fingers and pinch along his back, just like this, as I go along, pinching all the way down. It kind of gives him a nice little textured tail, body and tail. All right. Okay, so now I am ready to give him some eyes. So I'm going to take some clay and make 2 eyeballs. So I have about this much clay, and I'm going to divide it in half and make 2 dragon eyeballs. Okay, so they're as big as you want them to be. I'm going to put them right up here. So again, I'm attaching, so I need to scratch and add water. I do not want his eyeballs falling off and rolling around in the kiln. The kiln, as you'll remember, is the oven that we use to cook our clay. So it turns into ceramic, turns hard. Now I notice that my eyeballs are not exactly the same size, and I don't care. So here he is. Give him a little close-up. His little eyeballs on there. So I'm going to need to give him some eyes in the center of these eyeballs. I'm going to take my tool and poke on either side. Now if you want to, you can give him some eyebrows, and I think that's kind of cool. So I'm going to take a little bit of clay and make little tiny hot dog shape. So my little tiny shape, cut it in half, put some water above his eye, I'm doing this right on his eyeballs there, and a little bit of water on these guys. They're almost too small to scratch up, and I'm just going to use my water and smush on some eyebrows. Oh yes, he is good looking. So now he needs, you could even put eyelashes on him if you wanted to. You could, draw some lines. What would that look like? Ooh, that's cool. I'm gonna do that. Okay, now I'm gonna give him some nostrils. We're gonna do the same thing we did with the eyeballs, but I'm going to use a little bit smaller, just same size, same as the eyeballs, but smaller version. And so again, scratch up his nose. Now you wouldn't have to do this. You could just poke some holes in his nostrils, but I'm going to, put them on there and smush them in. I'm doing this trying to show you a little hard. So I like smashing them down a little bit. There he is with his nostrils, and I'm going to poke some holes to give him some legit nostrils. I like it. All right, now I need to give him a mouth. I might use a needle tool for that. The needle tool looks like this. Looks like a needle on a wooden stick. And to do that, I'm just going to kind of push it in a little bit. Not too far. Okay, see that? I can even open it up a little bit if I want to. And maybe I might even give him a flaming tongue or some fire coming out. We are going to put wings on him. We could put horns. If you want to give him a unicorn horn or some horns, you can do that too. So to do that, we would just take, again, kind of like we did the eyebrows, take some to make a little tiny hot dog shape, and I could make 2 horns for him. I think the horns are fun. Stick it in the water. put it back here behind his eyes and give him 2 horns. Gotta squish him on there. All right. Little pieces, it's hard to do the scratching, the scoring, so you just have to use the slip and the water and push them on, try to blend them on. Okay. See how his horns are looking pretty good. I need to put him on the canvas. He's starting to stick. All right, so now for our little guy, we are ready for his back legs. So again, we're going to take some clay and I'm going to make a hot dog shape. I've got about this much clay and I'm going to make a hot dog shape about like this, and I'm going to cut it in half. You can use my needle tool or your plastic knife. Okay, so now I'm going to roll again. And it depends on how big you want his legs to be. His back legs can be bigger than his front legs. Basically, we're going to fold it like a candy cane, almost fold it in half with a little bit, one side a little longer than the other. Okay, so I've got this shape here, or one side's a little longer, and then I'm going to give him a little foot. Okay, so then I'm going to flatten this out just a bit. Now you can see I've got some cracks here, so I don't want cracks. Whenever my clay starts to dry out, your clay will dry out as you work with it because your hands absorb the moisture. So I'm going to scratch. I've got my leg here. See what it looks like? Looks kind of like a snake with a little head here. And I'm going to attach this on the side of my dragon like this. So this is his foot. This is his, sort of like his knee. And this is attached to his hip. So I'm going to put it right like this. Okay? Now my guy's kind of sticking off the edge there a little bit, which I didn't really want. I'm going to push it back a little bit. Okay? So his leg is kind of a big leg, but that's okay. And so I'm going to make another one on the other side. Again, it bends. I bend it where one side's a little bit longer than the other because that's where his foot pushes up. And this goes on the other side. So I've got to scratch it. You know what? I can't even remember if I scratched that other side, so I'm going to have to check that. I don't remember doing it. I think I got distracted. So there we go. There's one foot. I'm going to check. Nope, I didn't. And I probably wouldn't fall off, but man, there's nothing worse than getting your dragon out of the kiln and seeing he lost something. No fun. All right, so here's his legs, and I can squish him in a little bit. So there's my dragon. I made him a little close to the front, and I'm going to push his legs back. Now, for his toes, I am going to give him some toes. So I'm going to take my lollipop tool and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so there's his toes. He's got some little feet. I could always draw designs on him. I can always give him some scales, like if I wanted to, I could make some lines around his, coming down on his legs, like that if I wanted to. I think I kind of like doing lines like that, so I think I'll change that. But you can draw designs in your dragon. Okay, well, we'll do that later. I'm going to give him some little hands, some little claws. So, I need some more clay. You can always get more clay. Okay, so now I'm going to give him some little hands, some little tiny dragon hands, and I'm making a little hot dog, not as thick as my back legs because his front legs are smaller. So here I'm going to cut this to be about this length here, and then I'm going to cut it in half. All right, so his little hands are going to come around. It wouldn't even have to be that long. I could make them a little smaller, which I did. I'm going to make them about like this size, and they're going to go on either side of his body. So we're going to scratch up on this side here, and scratch up on this side here, and scratch up and add water to the ends of his arms and push them on. So he could be holding something, like if you wanted him to hold an egg, or if he's holding a, I don't know, some food. Or he's just got his hands together like that. So there's my dragon's hands. I'm going to blend that in. And I can give him claws too. I'm going to just use this tool and give him some little claws. All right, I don't know if you can see that. There's his little hands. Okay, so now we need some wings. The wings are a lot of fun to make, very easy. So I'm gonna get some more clay. And to make my wings, I've got a piece of clay and I'm going to make it into a ball. Then, get another piece of canvas here. I'm going to make another pancake shape, just like when we made the base. Making a pancake shape. Okay, so there's my pancake. And I'm going to cut it in half. I can use my needle tool or your plastic knife. This is going to be my wing shape. And it's going to go on the back of my monster. Just like that. I'm making sure I'm doing it right. No, I'm not. There we go. It goes like this. Okay, so it goes like this. And we're going to, I think this is a little big. I want my wings to be a little bit smaller, so I'm going to make this circle a little smaller. I'm just cutting it off. So now it's like that. Okay. Okay, so we're going to put it here, and I need to score this section here and add a little water to his back. So here's where the scoring is. All right. Now before I add this, I'm going to add the edge here. I'm going to make the edge a little bit rough. So I'm going to take the edge here and I'm going to pinch it off like this. Okay, see how I'm just pinching it off? I think that fell on his face. Okay, see how I made this edge then? And I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. Pinching it. All right, now you can also make designs and textures. You probably could do that when it's on your dragon, or you can do it now. So you can make some designs, lines in it if you want to, scales. Okay, so here's my two wings, and I'm going to put them right here on my dragon. Okay, so let's see if I can do this there. Okay, so they lay like this, so I need to put some water on here. I scored them up. And water here on my edges, rough them up. Mostly I'm going to pinch them together, get them to stick. So right like this, and I'm pinching. Okay, I'm pinching. I'm going to hold on to his tummy. Pinching to make it stay on. Okay? So here he is. He's got his wings. And I can bend him back a little bit. Now I'm going to, I can add, at this point, you can add details. You can put some stripes or scales on his tummy. You can start smoothing areas if you want to. But at this point, you've really got your basic dragon. And I would probably just start adding little details and dots and make him got some special things, but he's pretty much done. At this point, you can take him over and let him dry with your homeroom class. All right, I hope you have fun.